Mortgages, the largest debt most people ever sign, and the only one strangers congratulate you for taking. On a $300,000 loan at today's average rate, 6.65% per Freddie Mac, the payment is about $1,926 a month. Of your very first payment, $1,663 is pure interest. Only $263 buys actual house. That's not a rounding error, that's amortization, and it front-loads the bank's profit for roughly the first decade. Run the full 30 years and you'll pay about $393,000 in interest, more than the house cost on the day you bought it. Put down less than 20% and there's a surcharge called PMI, $30 to $70 a month per 100,000 borrowed. It protects the bank, and you pay for it. Still the safest debt on this list, for two reasons. It's attached to an asset that historically rises, and inflation shrinks a fixed payment every year while rents climb. One defense, a single extra principal payment a year quietly removes 4 to 5 years from the loan. Danger level, 1 out of 5. Auto loans, a debt attached to an asset doing the exact opposite of a house. A new car sheds roughly 20% of its value in year 1, so with a small down payment you owe more than the car is worth before your first oil change. The average new car payment in America is now around $750 a month, and to keep that number friendly, dealers stretched loans from 60 months to 84. Watch the sales floor. Nobody sells you a car, they sell you a monthly payment. $499 a month sounds gentle. 84 months of $499 is $41,900, and nobody says that number out loud. 0% financing, it's real but usually offered instead of the cash rebate, so the interest hides inside the sticker price. The deep end is negative equity rollover. Trade in a car you still owe on, and the leftover debt folds into the next loan. Roughly 1 in 4 trade-ins arrive there. Defense, 20% down, 60 months maximum, and price the car, never the payment. Danger level, 2 out of 5. Student loans, over $1.6 trillion of them per the New York Fed, and they carry a power almost no other debt has. They survive bankruptcy. A court can erase credit cards and medical bills. Student loans walk out untouched. You can be 65 and have your Social Security garnished for a degree from 1985. Literally. In May of 2025, the government restarted involuntary collections, wage garnishment, and tax refund seizure included. The sharpest trap isn't the 6% rate, it's income-driven repayment. It sounds merciful, pay a small slice of your income. But when that slice is smaller than the monthly interest, the balance grows while you pay. People make 10 years of on-time payments and owe more than they borrowed. That's negative amortization, and it's the engine of the student debt story. One genuine exit, public service loan forgiveness has erased loans for over 1 million teachers, nurses, and public workers. 10 years of payments in a qualifying job, and the remainder disappears tax-free. Defense, never refinance federal loans into private ones for a slightly lower rate. You'd trade forgiveness programs and hardship protections for pocket change. Danger level, 3 out of 5. Medical debt, the strangest entry on this list because it usually charges 0% interest, and studies still find medical problems behind roughly 2/3 of American bankruptcies. How does 0% do that? Ambush. Nobody shops around for a heart attack, and the sticker price is fiction. Hospitals routinely bill $8,000 for what insurers settle at a fraction of, and audits find errors in a majority of large bills, duplicate charges, services never delivered. So, the rules. 1. Never pay the first number. Demand an itemized bill, then negotiate. Billing departments settle every day, and the No Surprises Act bans most out-of-network ambush billing from emergencies. 2. Nonprofit hospitals are legally required under IRS Rule 501(r) to run financial assistance programs. Many forgive the entire bill for households earning up to 2 to 4 times the poverty line. You have to ask. They don't advertise it. 3. The cardinal rule, never put a medical bill on a credit card. The moment you do, a negotiable 0% debt becomes a non-negotiable 24% one, and every protection evaporates. Danger level, 3 out of 5. Buy now, pay later. Klarna, Afterpay, Affirm. 4 easy payments, 0 interest, 1 click, and the numbers underneath get darker every year. LendingTree's 2026 survey found 47% of users paid late in the past year, up from 41% the year before, and 34% before that. That's a staircase, climbing. The Federal Reserve's own survey, 40% of users earning under $25,000 missed payments, and 29% of users now split groceries into installments, double 2 years ago. When a country starts financing food in 4 payments, that's not a shopping tool, that's a warning light. The mechanism is invisibility. Each plan feels tiny. Users stack 5 across different apps, and for years no lender could see the whole pile. The industry called it phantom debt. That era is ending. FICO is folding BNPL into credit scores, so the invisible pile is about to appear all at once. 68% of users admit the product makes them overspend. That's not a side effect. Frictionless spending is the business model. Defense: one plan at a time, and if $60 needs splitting into 4, the real answer is you can't afford it this month. Danger level: 4 out of 5. Credit cards: $1.26 trillion outstanding per the New York Fed, and the Federal Reserve puts the average rate at 21%, with new offers near 24%. But the rate isn't the trap. The trap is the minimum payment, typically interest plus 1% of your balance, engineered to barely outrun the interest. Carry $5,000 at 24%, pay only minimums, and you'll be paying for more than 25 years, with interest alone passing $7,000. The minimum isn't mercy, it's product design. 3 mechanisms nobody reads. Interest compounds daily, so the balance grows a little every morning. The grace period dies the month you carry any balance, carry $1, and new purchases accrue from the day you swipe. And the cash advance button is a worse product wearing the same plastic. A 3 to 5% fee upfront, an APR near 30, and no grace period ever. Right now, roughly 1 in every $8 of card debt in America is more than 90 days past due, the worst reading in years. Defense: pay in full, and if you can't, pay the day money lands instead of the due date, because daily compounding rewards every early dollar. Danger level: 4 out of 5. Store cards and deferred interest. The cashier offers 15% off today's purchase. The card underneath averages around 30%, the highest tier of mainstream credit. But the real weapon is a clause called deferred interest. The furniture store says 0% for 24 months. The contract says interest accrues the entire time at 30%, merely suspended. Pay off every cent by the deadline and it vanishes. Miss by 1 day, or leave $200 unpaid, and all 24 months of back interest land on your statement at once, retroactively from day 1. On a $2,400 sofa, you've paid $2,200, you're 1 payment short, and several $100s of back interest arrives on money you mostly already repaid. Consumer protection studies estimate roughly 1 in 5 of these promotions ends exactly that way, and regulators have fined major store card issuers over it. It's a landmine with a countdown timer. Defense: divide the balance by the promo months, set that as autopay, and add $10. The card is betting you'll miss. Make it a losing bet. Danger level: 4 out of 5. Tax debt. The IRS doesn't need to sue you. Every other collector on this list has to win in court before touching your wages. The IRS can garnish your paycheck, empty a bank account, and lien your house by administrative action, paperwork, not a judge. Owe more than roughly $64,000 and they can have your passport denied. The meter runs constantly, a 0.5% penalty per month, plus interest around 7% compounding daily. Now the twist almost nobody uses. The IRS is simultaneously the most negotiable creditor in America. OE under $50,000? Set up an installment plan online in about 10 minutes, no lawyer, no phone call. First offense? A single call requesting first-time penalty abatement often deletes the penalties entirely, practically a coupon code. And they don't advertise it either. Those TV ads promising to settle for pennies? They're selling the offer in compromise. A real program the IRS accepts only about 1/3 of the time, and the ad firm charges thousands either way. Skip the middleman. The machine only turns violent on silence. The first letter is named CP14, and every ignored envelope escalates 1 step. Defense: open the envelope, set up the plan, make the machine boring. Danger level: 4 out of 5. Title loans. Hand over your car title, drive away with 1/4 to half of what the car is worth, at a typical price of 25% per month. Annualized, that's around 300%. Borrow $1,000 in January, and by December the interest alone approaches $3,000. But the rate isn't the cruelest part. The collateral is. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau found 1 in 5 title loan borrowers loses the vehicle, and the car is how you get to work. This is the only loan on the list where the collateral is your income itself. Lose the car, lose the job, lose any chance of paying anything. In many states, there's a sequel called the deficiency balance. They repossess, auction the car for less than you owe, and bill you the difference. No car, and still in debt for it. It's a machine that converts a bad month into a lost year. Defense. Almost every option above this line, a personal loan, negotiating the bill directly, even a credit card cash advance, is dramatically cheaper than feeding a title loan. Danger level 5 out of 5. Payday loans. The storefront says something soft, like cash advance. The price? $15 to $30 per 100 borrowed for 2 weeks. Annualized, the national average is 391%, and where there's no cap, it climbs. Idaho averages 652%, Utah 554, Texas 527. One sentence from the CFPB's own research explains the entire industry. 80% of payday loans are rolled over or reborrowed within 14 days. 80%. The 2-week loan is not the product, the rollover is the product. Follow the average customer. $375 borrowed in March. By late summer, $520 paid in fees, and the original $375 still owed. That's the average, per the CFPB, not the unlucky case. The lender also holds your checking account by the throat. The debit fires the morning your paycheck lands, first in line before your rent. 12 states effectively banned these rates, so the industry moved online and offshore. The exit. Credit union payday alternative loans, capped at 28%, 1/14 the price, and they'll often refinance you out the same week. Danger level 5 out of 5. Loan sharks, the oldest lender on this list, wearing a new face. The classic version had no contract, no cap, and collections enforced by fear. The 2026 version lives in your phone. Unlicensed lending apps, run from offshore, that demand access to your contact list as a condition of the loan. Miss a payment and they don't call you. They call your mother, your boss, your group chats, with threats and doctored photos. Regulators on 3 continents keep purging these apps, and they respawn faster than they close because the product is shame with an interest rate. Know the cousin too. The advance fee loan, a guaranteed loan, bad credit welcome, just pay $200 upfront to unlock it. Then they vanish. If a lender asks for money before lending money, that is not a loan, that is the entire transaction. No defense strategy for this entry, only a line. If you're at the point where these are the options, the debt is no longer the emergency, the situation is. Debt charities, credit union hardship programs, and every negotiable creditor higher on this list are boring doors instead of dangerous ones. And boring is the point. Danger level 5 out of 5. The only entry where the collector, not the interest, is the threat. 11 debts, 1 pattern. At the safe end, debt attached to things that grow, priced in single digits, with an exit. At the deadly end, debt attached to nothing, priced so repayment fails by design, with a trapdoor instead of an exit. The whole difference between danger level 1 and danger level 5 is a single question: is this debt buying something that rises, or renting relief that expires? And if you carry several at once, order matters. Minimums on the low levels, every spare dollar at the highest level first. Killing a level 5 debt pays a guaranteed triple-digit return. No investment on earth offers that. Now look back at the rate sheet. The same bank charges 6.65% against a house and 24% against a paycheck. Money borrows cheap against things that rise and lends expensive against people who work. Every trap on this list is that one sentence, wearing 11 costumes. Now you can see the costume. If this list pulled you back from even one of these doors, pass it to someone standing in front of another one.